Hello cross stitchers, I am going to show you how I select colors for a house pattern. So I am using the DMC floss selector. This is actually the one that has the real strands of floss on it. It's so pretty if you've never seen one of these, or if you don't have one, I highly recommend it. Mine's getting worn because I use it so much and it travels with me. So I have the pattern that I want to do, and it's just is a photo on my iPad, and what I do is I edit it and I go to the markup. So then I am able to write directly on my image and I select the colors. So on the video I can see it's a little bit muted. This is a little bit like, it's called the Little Red Cabin, so this of course is a red color. So I just use the image and go from there. So I have a couple of colors that I pick for all of my patterns that I just like. Whites. I use 535 for windows, and then 310 is black. So those are part of almost every pattern that I design. So I just include those on there. So I'm going to look at the red, oranges kind of colors. So when I'm looking through this and I'm looking for a color red that would work for the cabin, and keeping in mind it's a little bit brighter, I'm going to choose this Star 22. Of course, I am notorious for picking colors and then I will use just whatever I have to cross stitch with. I don't necessarily always go and buy new colors at the store. So don't be surprised if when I am stitching it that I change the color to be something that I have. Okay? So that's going to be the base, and then it has siding lines in here. So what I'm going to do for siding lines is I'm going to do some long like satin stitches or back stitching, and so I can use the same color, but I really like using a different color to make it stand out more. And when I look at that, you know, I want it to be probably darker than this. I think I'm gonna do 400 for the lines. Okay, so for the siding lines, so 400 siding. I usually just write myself a little note on my pattern so I remember when I'm referencing the picture. And so siding. Up here, it's kind of hard to tell, but there is the top of the chimney, and that is brown color. So I'm just going to use, let's do 301. So we'll do 301 for that brown part of the chimney. There's the pattern, kind of hard to see right there. And then the other thing, so I have the white and black, and the other thing I need is the roof colors. So the same thing, I kind of choose when you're dealing with like this charcoal roof. There's a couple colors that I tend to select all of the time. Roof colors, I like these shades, so 3021, 844, and 645. And if I need darker, then I'll drop down here to be 310 and 3,799. But it's going to be this lighter gray, so I'm going to do 844 and 645 for my roof colors. So 844 and 645. And I just write right on my pattern because writing right there isn't going to change my pattern in the least. So, and I just double check, make sure I have everything. I am not going to include any of that down there. I'm just going to do the cabin and focusing on that. And even though it's very wooded, I don't think I'm going to plan out any of the trees. So that's a little bit in how I do my color selection for my patterns. Subscribe to follow along in the Little Red Cabin series.